Welcome back inside the SCSN studios for episode 6 of State Champs Ohio, Extra Point. I'm your host, Jeremy Otto. We want to send a big thank you to our presenting sponsor, Lawrence Technological University. Lawrence Tech has over 24 varsity-level NAIA sports, and you can recruit yourself. Just go to LTUathletics.com, click the Recruit Yourself link, fill out a short questionnaire, and a coach will get back to you in just 48 hours. Well, we also want you to check out our Ohio Extra Point podcast everywhere and anywhere you listen to podcasts. We've talked to some of the highest profile programs in the state, and that trend continues this week as Justin Buttermore, the head coach of Upper Arlington, sits down for an interview. More on that later in the show. For a full list of the various State Champs podcasts you can follow us on Spreaker. Just search State Champs. Let's check out what happened around the state in Week 6 now. First, we head to a top 5 matchup in Division 3 between the Kenston Bombers and the Chardon Hilltoppers. Chardon would dominate this one. Alex Henry kicks off the scoring in the first, dropping back and fitting a perfect pass to Nathaniel Soka. Special teams got it going as well as Heath Fetchick rips off a 65-yard punt return for the score. Sean Carr caps off a productive half, giving his team a 35-0 advantage with 2 seconds left. The Hilltoppers would add 2 more scores in the second half, running away with a 49-0 win. We stay in the Western Reserve Conference to check out the South Rebels on the road against the Brush Arcs. South QB Colin Quinlan with a nice run inside the 5, but unfortunately goes down awkwardly and wouldn't return to this one. 2 plays later, Gabe Hanslick is picked off by David Williams. Tennell Rose put together a stellar half as he gets his team on the board first. Brush leading 6-0 heading into the locker room. Brush with a fumble early in the third. Hanslick finds Bryce Figler to snatch the lead, 7-6. Rebels from their own 10 now. Hanslick flips it out to David McLean, who slips past a pair of defenders, puts on the Jets, and uses a killer spin move to finish off a 90-yard score. Later, South driving again. Andrew Usagi Irise answers the bell, pushing their lead to 21-6. Figler putting the icing on the cake in this one, ripping the ball out of the air and cashing it in for 6. South wins it 28-6. And finally down in Cincinnati, Lakota East at home taking on Sycamore in a Greater Miami Conference matchup. Thunderhawks 3-0, the Aviators 2-1 in conference play. It was a seesaw all game long. Lakota East jumped out to a lead first as QB TJ Cantham scurries in from 6 yards out. Sycamore's William Engel, though, with a response. He connects with Jacob Tuame, PAT no good, and Lakota up 7-6. In the second, Engel would do it with his legs and Kathman with his arm, hitting Caleb Van Hooser. Another Engel TD and fullback Eric Davis for Lakota would score. It was 20 all at the half. Jump to the fourth now, tied at 27. Kathman rolls out, airs it out, and finds the Purdue commit Charlie Kenrich as Lakota wins a good one, 34-27. Well, let's not forget the other games we covered last week. You can check out the highlights all over social media. Bridgeport defeated Federal Hocking 48-0. Whitmer toppled St. John's Jesuit 38-7. And West Jefferson took down Northeastern 35-0. Well, as mentioned earlier in the show, we had a chance to sit down and have a chat with Upper Arlington's head coach Justin Buttermore. Carson Greasaw, quite the weapon for them offensively. Coach told us what makes him so good.
Well, he's got a great skill set. I mean, he's got the power of a fullback, but the speed of a tailback. He's really compact runner that is low to the ground and always has great leverage. I think his balance is incredibly underrated. He slips through small seams and ends up on one foot, but able to keep his balance and make big plays. So, really physical runner. You said it. He's good in the pass game as well and has good hands. And certainly he's a guy that wears on defenses. You hear people talk about backs that wear you out. He's a kid that as the game gets late, people don't want to tackle him anymore because they've had to do it all game, and he's a physical runner.
Thanks again, Coach, for coming on. We certainly appreciate it. To hear the full interview, log on to statechampsnetwork.com or search Ohio Extra Point wherever you listen to your podcast. Let's take a look ahead at the game State Champs will be featuring this week. First, it's Columbus DeSales going on the road to take on Steubenville. Dublin Jerome at home to face Marysville. Coach Buttermore's Golden Bears travel to Olentangy Liberty. Indianapolis Cathedral crosses the border to take on LaSalle. North Ridgeville takes on Elaria. And finally, Avon is at home against Olmsted Falls. Well, that's all the time we have this week. Don't forget to follow us on social media to keep up with everything Ohio high school sports. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search State Champs Ohio. One more thank you to Coach Justin Buttermore for taking this time out of his busy schedule to talk with us this week, and our sponsor Lawrence Technological University, where you can recruit yourself. Just go to LTUathletics.com. We'll see you next week.